Today is Friday, June 19th, and I'm Selina Sigafoose Jackson, Vice President of the International Chiropractors Association, coming to you today with our daily update. So June 19th, am I the only one that did not know that this day was referred to as Juneteenth? I know that slavery was ended, but I didn't know that we were calling it Juneteenth. I'm not on social media of any kind, and I don't watch the news, so maybe that's my excuse. But either way, I think it's really a phenomenally awesome day to recognize, one, that such a disgusting behavior of the human race was abolished, and two, that human beings are capable of change. That human beings, once we recognize that maybe we screwed up, that we can do something different, and not only do something different, but mark it as a potential holiday, that is massive to me. And so that gives me hope that the human race can change. I know for myself as a female in chiropractic that I have, quote unquote, suffered being kind of put on a shelf. And so I've always been looked at, or I could argue that I've always looked at myself as Sigafoose's daughter. Many refer to him as Sigafoose the Great, or Kevin Jackson's wife. And while many people have looked at me as that, I just as equally looked at myself as that. That I am, it's okay. You do your thing. I'll just be back here in a supportive role. And there's not a thing wrong with that, but it's wrong if it keeps me from fulfilling a role or a destiny, or if it could hinder someone else. And God knows that I'm in no business wanting to hinder someone else because I might be unable to look past my shortcomings. So I look at Juneteenth as an opportunity for all of us to look past our shortcomings. Look at where we may have misjudged, been wrong, and be willing to say, I can change, and I'm not just going to change for me, but I'm going to change because I don't want to be responsible for holding anybody else back. So we can look at it in our profession that we are not just chiropractors or just quote unquote backcrackers. We have to look at ourselves as chiropractors, creating a change within humanity, locating and detecting and correcting vertebral subluxations to remove interference from the nervous system to expand the human race. Now that's a whole lot different story. But are we stepping into that? Are we being held back from that? Or are we holding ourselves back from that? And I think collectively as a profession, we are individuals. And if we as individuals take the opportunity to say, I'm holding me back, and the more I hold me back, the more I hold back our profession. And the more we hold back our profession, the less impact we have on humanity. So while I'm Sigafoose's daughter, you bet. And while I'm Kevin Jackson's wife, you bet. I'm also Selina Sigafoose Jackson, who has created and creating a legacy where people choose me for their chiropractor. They choose me for a mentor. They choose me as a friend. They choose me to be in their life because I have something to offer. But what I love about this Juneteenth is it forces me to say, where have I wronged? Where have I thought in a way that I shouldn't have thought? Not just me as a female or just me as a chiropractor. Where have I held back a race or a profession or a gender because I wasn't willing to say, I'm open. So one of my most favorite principles of the 33 principles is principle number 11. It was actually my first favorite. The character of universal forces. I find that an interesting title. There's a character to this. Do you and I have a character? A character that's willing to say, hell no, I'm not taking this anymore. Or do we have a character that says, let somebody else worry about that? Principle number 11 says that the forces of universal intelligence are manifested by physical laws. They're unswerving and unadapted and have no solicitude for the structures in which they work. So I take that as universal intelligence is going to do its thing. And if universal intelligence isn't going to swerve or adapt to the structure in which it lives, whether it be the chiropractic profession or the human body, it's going to go its way. I would think that if we understand that and we go along with it, the path is a little easier. Not perfect, but the path is easier. Because I think the path of chiropractic is the road less traveled. So it's a tougher road. And it is also a conscious choice on that road. But I would think if we fought that, if we weren't willing to open ourselves up and see outside of our own looking glass, that we would constantly be in a battle. We would be frustrated. We would see other people that appeared to be doing the same thing that we're doing, achieving milestones, while we're just constantly struggling. Because universal intelligence is going to make it happen. And it's going to make it happen with or without you. And so if you understand that universal intelligence isn't going to adapt, so that maybe we need to work with it instead of putting up our walls and fighting against it, that this journey might be easier. So isn't it wild, I think, for me, that Juneteenth really, to me, represents the end of putting ourselves in a box, the end of us being a slave to our mindset, our belittling of ourselves, which therefore we're going to belittle those around us, belittling our profession, belittling our peers. It serves nobody. It gets us nowhere. I know that these 33 principles, specifically principle number 11, what we're talking about, is alive and well. And if universal intelligence, universal forces have a character that says, get out of my way because I'm going to follow that. Because if we're going to move forward in any way in our own life and in this profession, we need to get behind the force of intelligence that says things are going to happen. Juneteenth represents that things happened, that there were enough people collectively saying, this isn't right, no more, we're not taking it. So I'm going to mark Juneteenth 2020 as a day that says the International Chiropractic Association or the International Chiropractors Association is moving forward, taking no prisoners. We're not stepping down and we're not stepping back. Whether you're man or woman, whether you've been in this profession for 60 years or 6 months, we're moving forward because our journey is the right journey, because universal forces are moving us forward. They're not adapting. They're taking a sword and cutting a path for all others to follow. So while the road less traveled, the red road of life, is a rocky road, I choose it. I hope you choose it. You have the choice one way or another. So I'll see you on the red road.